Buenos días, espero que ya estéis recuperados del test de la semana pasada. Hoy vamos a tener una sesión en dos partes. La primera parte, como hemos comentado, es la parte de inglés, que comentamos con una experta, que es Paloma Sarbadhikari, que se ha dedicado durante más de 20 años a la enseñanza, ha preparado opositores y os va a dar unos consejos para preparar el TOEIC, y después, entre todos, haremos un listening y un reading para ver qué nivel tenemos. Así que doy paso a Paloma.
Good morning. My name is Paloma, and I'm going to do this session in English. So, can you hear me? Yeah, sorry. Now? Is that better? My name's Paloma, and I'm going to be speaking to you in English this morning, so I hope you can use the session to practice. As Anna said, I'm going to give you some consejos, some advice, but I actually only have one piece of advice, and, well, let's say 3 pieces of advice. Practice, practice, and practice. That's all you have to know. To do this exam, to be successful, you just have to do it over and over and over, do the exercises over and over and over again. What we'll do this morning then is I'll explain a little bit about how the TOEIC exam is set out, and then we're going to make it a really practical session, and you'll actually do some questions, some examples from each part of the TOEIC exam. So for those of you who already know how the exam works, you can just use the practice time, and for those of you who are not sure about how the exam works, you can pay attention to the different sections and get a better idea of how this is going to work for you. Okay, so as you probably already know, there's 2 parts, right? Listening and reading. The listening consists of 4 parts, so let's just call it part 1. Part 1 is photographs. You're going to be shown photographs. I think, let me just make sure. You're going to have 10 photographs, I believe it is, because they've updated the exam. So it's 10 photographs, and you will have 4 statements about the photograph, about the picture that you see. And then you have to choose one of the statements that is most correct about the photograph. They use short sentences, everyday language. The verbs are usually in present continuous, and you have also, sometimes the verbs are in present perfect as well. Present perfect simple. What you have to do is listen very, very carefully, and then you have to try to put the information that you hear so that you get the best answer. For this part of the exam, you should know prepositions, especially of location. That's behind, on top of, because sometimes you have objects that are, the books are on top of the table. Okay, so that's the photographs. We're going to, like I said, we're going to do examples of each part. I'm just going to go through it right now, and then we'll do examples of each part. The second part is what we call question response. You'll hear a question, and then you'll have 3 options, and you have to pick A, B, or C to answer that question, or a statement. Sorry, it's not always a question, it's a statement as well. So you have to answer, put the sentence that most would be likely to be the response of what you've just heard. Remember, in both of those photographs and in the question response, you will not have the sentences printed. You have to listen and just choose A, B, and C. You don't see the sentences. That's very important to remember, that you have to really just concentrate on your audio, on your ears. I think most of us are used to using our vision, using the visual, and so you have to get used to doing this by just listening, and the way to practice is to get those CDs or get online, whatever you can, and listen and do the exercises, because reading a listening exercise just is useless. Okay, so then the third part, let me go to the third part, which is conversations. So you'll have what you'll hear is 2 people speaking, and then you have to answer 3 questions. 3 questions that have, let me just divide it up. And we'll see it actually in the practice, we see it much better. But there's 10 audios, 3 questions each for each of it. 39 questions, 13 conversations. Okay. And there's 4 lines, they speak in 4 lines. You'll have 4 sentences that they say. In this part of the exam, you should read the question before. Start reading the questions. As soon as you'll be familiar by the time you take the exam, you should be familiar with the instructions. So they'll start the instructions. You immediately start reading the questions. You want to scan for information that can help you answer while you're listening. So first of all, you're looking at your questions, and then you're listening to the information, and you've scanned for some information that can help you. Also in the 4th part, the talks, the same thing. Try to first get the questions and then listen. Again, the statements are not printed, and in all of the listening, you hear it one time only. So again, you have to focus very hard right from the beginning, focus and get the information. All right, I think, like I said, the best thing we can do now is to do the listening. I'll divide it in 2 parts. First, we're going to do the listening exercises, and then I'll go on to the reading, because I don't want to get too confused. I confuse myself if I try to do it all at once. So let's just concentrate first on the listening, and then we'll go to the reading. Okay, for this, then I would like to give you all the photocopies that I've prepared here.